cyberbullying, to what degree is this an issue within the school?
Thank you.
Because we don't know. And that input has to come directly from the faculty. And they have to have an opportunity to express whether this is a concern. And I don't think that we necessarily have to be involved with an issue directly to talk about it, because we talk about drunk driving, and senior prom, issues that can happen there. Well, technically, those aren't really the school's responsibility, but it's the mission of education.
I completely disagree with that, if I can, because driving is done right in the parking lot at the high school. It's encouraged that the kids take it. I completely disagree that they don't embrace good driving habits as a school. They do not embrace technology. We do all know that.
Except we have a computer requirement for graduation.
And as far as if it happens in the school or not, law enforcement can easily tell anyone exactly the time and the second that was written on social media, in any social media. If it's on the internet, they can tell you when it happened. So as far as if they need to know when it was done, was it before, after school, in school, it seems like an easy thing to find out.
Okay, I think we're wrapping up this particular piece, but I want to make sure that every thought that was expressed is on this board. So I know we've had our questions and concerns about what constitutes bullying and cyberbullying. That may be one question, that may be two. We'll leave it up as that. Our common ground was families that need to be involved in teaching proper behavior. If anyone disagrees, please say so, and we can modify the signs accordingly. Was there any area of disagreement? I felt like there may have been, but then we never put anything up there. Is there anything that anyone wants to verbalize?
Well, I guess what I'm hearing is, does more technology in the school lead to more cyberbullying? And I'm hearing no, but I don't know what the feeling, like that you would
All I
lobby
said
for more
is
technology.
you can track it. You can track
I'm just wondering if, like, some of those schools that you mentioned that do provide, do they see more cyberbullying? I don't know. I don't
It's
see
not
if
like
that's a
some of the
link. Yeah.
schools, all the private schools, any
Yeah.
public, private college, you have to have devices to be in class.
But I would be curious to see if they see more incidents putting that in their hands all day, or not, is that why Torrington's hesitating, or is that totally just a cost issue of, not enough money?
It's an eye-opener to go to a board meeting and hear their reasoning, because it's way out there.
Yeah, I think a lot of schools are struggling, well, not a lot, but some schools are struggling with exactly that issue. Do we let it in, do we not let it in, do we kind of let it in? There's some programs where some schools are undergoing where they are letting it in certain circumstances, so I think it's, maybe Torrance is a little slow out of the gate. But
Shall we put that as a question? Does increased technology, is that something that people are agreeing on, in that sort of unknown area of whether increased technology
If
increases?
Torrington allowed
If that was
technology,
something Torrington
change their
were to
policy, would
change?
that make it worse? Yeah. That might not be a disagreement, that might
No,
be a
I was
question.
gonna
Yeah.
suggest a question or a concern, just a question that
how about the
information we
question
don't
is,
have.
maybe the question is, why doesn't Torrington allow electronic devices?
Beautiful.
Don't find anything.
And to say a little bit more about that, sorry, but, so if you get more accustomed with something, you know how to use it. I think it's quite the opposite. When you let technology in and people know how to use it, there'll be less abuse of it. I think it's probably the people that don't perhaps understand that it's a print of their life. It's almost a constant dinner conversation at our house as the kids become of professional age, that all employers look at social media now and clean up your pages. My son's in college and there was a keg behind him. His employer saw it. He wasn't drinking, but it happened to be where a picture was taken and there was alcohol in the room. That's how detailed the professional world is with social media.
I know we're trying to get off this topic, I just wanted
No,
to make
that's
a
okay.
statement.
If there's more to be said, we can spend another minute or two.
I disagree with the last part of Approach B. The school is responsible for teaching children how to work and play cooperatively. To me, that's at home. I'm not saying they should ignore it, because when it needs to be addressed, it needs to be addressed, but I want them to be educated here. I would like that to be the focus. I know sometimes they can't, things happen, they have to comment that I, ever since I read that, I had disagreed with it, and then I finally said, oh, I gotta say it. So,
Okay.
Maybe reinforce is a better word, something like reinforce that.
yeah.
The school
Yes,
should
right.
reinforce it, not teach it.
Sure, yep.
I agree, there's so much on the plate of a teacher.
Mhm.
Why are we concentrating on wanting the teachers to teach about cyberbullying when it's more of a social behavior? That's kind of outside the realm. When we just had the Connecticut legislature vote down teaching the Constitution. So they were trying to make a requirement to teach the Constitution, and they said no.
So what does the school have for kids, like character education, for the parents in the room or the kids? Do they have Rachel's Challenge anymore, or, I don't know, what do they do for this kind of thing?
For like cyberbullying?
For like where the school will do either an assembly or take a half an hour a week to do some, I don't know, I've been to schools where they have an actual curriculum that they follow that's like a piece of things, but I'm not familiar with Frank has.
I didn't catch the whole
Oh,
question.
just, is there a set curriculum for all ages for kind of a character development or peacekeeping kind of thing that happens?
Health classes go into this to a
Health,
degree. Students have, for the past 2 years, we're developing the homeroom period. They maintain the same teacher for homeroom period. There are certain themes that come up in that. Primarily, that's geared, though, towards having the kids look forward to careers, but also issues will come up within those periods. That's being developed right now.
Do they still do the Rachel's Challenge?
Rachel Challenge is a club,
Oh, it's tough.
so we have, our clubs can do whatever they want, but there's a community, most clubs do community service, but there's not a curriculum for that.
Just a comment or a question about the parents in the schools. If my kids are light years ahead of me in technology, as far as iPods and iPads and computers and phones, how am I supposed to teach them about cyberbullying if they know more than I do? You know, I didn't grow up with it, and they can turn a computer on and fix it, and I can't.
That would probably be a good
One of
question on the
those-
paper. That would probably be a good question on the paper.
Who's going to teach them, or who's going to help me be able to teach them more about cyberbullying? If the schools can't do it, then who is going to? It's not gonna be the person selling the phone, because they don't care. The people selling phones and these devices don't care.
I'm just wondering, do you, and I don't know the answer to this question either, but do you have to know about technology to be able to teach your kids about proper etiquette on devices?
Well, what I'm saying
I don't
is,
know.
like, my kids aren't allowed on Facebook or anything like that, and I don't know how to set them up with Twitter or anything. So if I don't know about that, how can I teach them that this is bad or this is bad if I don't know about all of the social media? Because we steer away from social media right from the beginning. Say if you don't allow an 11-year-old to have Facebook, which they're not supposed to be on Facebook as an 11-year-old, but kids are, parents are saying, go ahead, you can lie about your age, and you can have your own Facebook page, and it's wrong. So my kids do not have their own Facebook page, and they will not have their own Facebook page as far as I'm concerned. But if I don't know enough about it, how am I supposed to teach them what's right and wrong about all these different, you know, every time you turn around, it's, you know, you turn on the news, it's like you can communicate with me with Twitter, Twitter this and hashtag this. I know what it means.
Could that be potentially something useful for, as a result from this community conversation, where there could be some type of expansion of that idea if other people share that same concern?
I think it's a travesty that this education district allows their health department to teach the intricacies of cyberbullying, no wonder we have troubles. When I sat in a Board of Education meeting, and the person responsible for health athletics, director, stood up and, referring to the 2012 rape victims, called them a couple hiccups in a season. So that's the person that's head of teaching cyberbullying in Torrington.
Okay.
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
No. I'd rather it not written, me too.
I'm sorry?
And I would rather it not written also.
Fair enough.
Thank you.